Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Collaboration Conversations. I'm your host, Regina Partain Bergman, and my co host, Pearl Cox, is unable to be with us at this time still. So we have another amazing guest co host today. This has been so fun to have all of these guest co hosts and the panelists that they bring, and it's just broadened my world tremendously, and I've loved every moment of it. So my guest co-host today is Robert Peterson. And actually, Robert and I just recently met, and I said, gotta have this guy on the show, gotta have him here. So Robert, welcome to the show.
Well, Regina, thank you so much for inviting us and giving us the opportunity to share our little connections and
Awesome.
collaborations. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. I am thrilled to have you all here today and can't wait to learn from you and to see everything that you're going to help our listeners learn today. So Robert, would you take a moment, tell us a bit about your journey, what's brought you to this place in life, and who you serve and why?
Yeah, so I spent 20 years in Christian ministry. My wife and I were missionaries in Bogota, Colombia for 10 years. And then I served as a pastor outreach for a church in Colorado. And what we really encountered in ministry is that people come to faith in Jesus and their hearts change and their spirits change, but they still go to the same job on Monday morning. And so there was a big frustration for us um, that the that their lives didn't change, their station didn't change. And so when I had the opportunity to jump out of ministry and into entrepreneurship, I chose to coach entrepreneurs because I wanted to encourage small business. I wanted to encourage people to get into this small business space, um, because I think that's the place that can solve that profit problem. And Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children." And so that's a biblical instruction to leave a
Yeah.
legacy of wealth, a
Yeah.
legacy of character, a legacy of family. And so that's really what we've tapped into. It's taken me a few years to really figure that piece out. And honestly, I was afraid of the money side, partly from
Mm,
my church background and other pieces. And part of why Regina and I met was because of the tool that we're both using as coaches now that allows me to confidently talk about the money in a business and
mm.
really help businesses know their
Yeah.
numbers, know where they can grow their numbers, and really know some shifts they can truly make in their business to make more money.
Awesome. I love it. And there's so much that I love that what you just talked about there. And you're so right about so many times we don't change our lives. We don't take those steps to really make our faith a part of everything in our lives. And so I love that you focus on that. I also like the term that you used, legacy, because I think so often we don't leave a legacy. And entrepreneurs, you know, it's typical for entrepreneurs to not be able to sell their business when they're ready to leave the entrepreneurial world, right? And
Mhm.
if you can't sell your business, what legacy, what financial legacy have you left for your family? So, yeah, Robert, you hit all the buttons for me. Robert, would you introduce our panelists, please, and have them share their journey and who they serve and why, please?
Absolutely. Well, these two amazing ladies have basically recently come into into my world, and we've met through an organization here in Denver called Achieve. And Achieve is helping entrepreneurs to grow their businesses. And my wife and I are part of the leadership, and and met both Kelly and Monica at our conference and at a recent basically 2 day training event, where we're encouraging business owners to grow their business and really know who they serve and the impact they're making in the world. And of course, Kelly and Monica are just incredible women making incredible impacts based on their own journeys and their stories. So I guess Kelly's up top, so I'll start with Kelly and let's try to flip a coin. How we do it, alphabetic order? What do we do? So
It's all
Kelly,
good. That's
tell us
good.
tell us about your journey into this space.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so honored to be here. Anytime it's about collaboration, I'm like all in. So
Awesome.
I started as a critical care nurse, Regina, and I never thought my journey was going to take me to where it's led today. And I'm just so grateful and blessed for every moment of it. So I started as a critical care nurse, and I broke my back in 2006. And over the course of 8 spinal surgeries, I was paralyzed from the waist down for a couple of years, and through that developed a really strong opiate and addiction. And that led me on a journey that I'm so grateful for today, because through my darkness, I found my light. And so now I'm able to do a lot of empowerment coaching and conscious leadership coaching and intuitive holistic coaching, where I teach people basically in order to love who you are, you can't hate the experiences that shaped you. And so I take people from the victims of their life and that things happened to them, and I shift that to empowering them to know it happened for you, and what experiences do you learn, you know, how resilient you are and how powerful you are. And I brought that into now the entrepreneurship world. And so through that, I joined the Mentor Studio and became a pro elite, where then I met Robert through Achieve and collaborated with him and met the beautiful Monica at the last conference, and all these collaborations started. So I'm launching my accelerators to help people through their addictions, because if we're really honest with ourselves, like Carl Jung says, in order to truly get intimate with yourself, you have to bring the unconscious to the conscious and be with your own soul. And what I find these days with entrepreneurs, we're so busy and we're searching for external things to find our purpose or our passion, when really everything that we need is inside of ourselves. So I'm like, you know, what are we addicted to? Are we addicted to, you know, feeling good enough, so we chase after success? Are we addicted to people pleasing? Are we addicted to not using our voice? Are we addicted to procrastination? What are we addicted to? So I deal with a lot of destructive patterns and addictive behaviors that keep us from fulfilling our passions.
Wow.
So it's been a really lovely journey. And if one moment of my journey would have been different, I wouldn't be on this lovely collaboration call with all of you.
Good point. Such a journey, Kelly. I love what you're doing, but wow, the stories that you have to tell. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the piece you're really missing out on is Kelly hugs, because she's kind of a lovely spirit and just loves to embrace those around her, and so definitely appreciate that.
Soul sisters, Kelly, soul sisters.
I do. Yes, I do. Everybody is my teacher, right? So I love so passionately. I really do.
So I mentioned Proverbs as a part of my foundation in my business. I also know Monica has a Bible verse that's the foundation of her business. So Monica, would you share what's led you to what you're doing and the impact you're making?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you so much for having me. And it's just so fun. I'd like to give all of you a hug. Love y'all. So, yes, I help people find freedom from chronic pain and chronic anxiety and forge an authentic relationship with God through a program I developed called the Still Workout. Now it's kind of a people go, how can you be still and still work out? How does that work? So what's great about it is it's so much more than an exercise program, but it's designed to retrain your brain, renew your body, and restore your soul. And it is based on Psalm 46:10, which is be still and know that I am God. And I developed this out of a desperate need in my own life for that. And I didn't even really know that's what I needed. But what happened was I had been teaching Zumba, which is a fun, crazy, dance party all the time. And that was great. Taught it for years, loved it. But after about 11 years of it, I began to get a little burned out and also wanted something that was more impactful in my life and in the lives of the people I was teaching. Meanwhile, I had developed a blinding pain in my lower right abdomen and had no idea what it was. To make a long story short, I ended up at 5 different doctors' offices. I had 2 CAT scans, an MRI, an ultrasound, an X-ray, a blood test, an experimental shot. And the best that could be offered to me was exploratory surgery so that they could possibly figure out what was wrong. Well, I decided I didn't want to do that. And I wanted to do some research. Now, I'm a certified personal trainer among some other fitness and wellness certifications that I have. And I decided I was going to get in there and do my own research and figure out what might be wrong with me. Meanwhile, this is all happening in the middle of the pandemic. So all of this has happened at once, and my anxiety levels skyrocketed, and my pain was blinding. My business was going down the drain because I couldn't teach with all of that. And so I was in this mode, and I began to research, studying, and also, of course, going to the Lord, going to God, because he's my, Jesus, my savior, my rock. I wanted to go there and figure out what was happening. So again, to make a long story short, through the study of the body, the study of the Bible, I found these techniques and these things that I've sort of crafted into a class, into a session that does all of these things at once that I've never seen anywhere else. And I really started the whole process by looking, where's the class that retrains the brain? Where is the class that renews the body? Where is the class that relieves chronic pain? Where's the class that helps me build strength in my muscles and my body at my age? And where's the class that helps with pelvic floor and balance and core and posture and all these other things, and also brings peace? Where's the class that brings all the biblical peace to my heart and soul that I know I need? Couldn't find it. So I developed it. So here we are. And it has been remarkable. We've seen results similar to physical therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. And I help people who need those things. I help people who need to ease into exercise. Maybe you haven't been exercising much. Or I help people who are hardcore exercisers and need some rest and relief in their lives, and relief from injury prevention, injury recovery, things along that line. So I help people who need all of those kinds of modalities and help in their world. And it has been, some of the stories have been nothing short of miraculous. And of course, in my own life, my anxiety levels plummeted, my pain went away, and I have been blessed by it ever since. So I'm so grateful to be here. This is so much fun. I love everyone on this panel. Great, excited to meet those that I don't know. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It is a pleasure.
Well, our friend Kyle made it, and sorry, Kyle, that we misguided you a little bit on the directions for getting here, but glad you made it.
No problem.
Kyle and I
I was looking for emails for you, and I missed the ones from Regina, but I'm really glad to be here, and thank you so much, everybody, for inviting me and having me.
Yeah, so Kyle and I met through my podcast and had some opportunities to collaborate, not just on the podcast itself, but we've both done some. Kyle does this interesting, basically referral explosion. I don't know what do we call it. We basically spend an hour on the phone together, literally making connections live together while we're talking on the phone. So we'd mute our connection through the Zoom, and then we'd literally call somebody on the phone and say, hey, you need to meet Kyle, and let me introduce you to Kyle. Or we'd send a LinkedIn connection or an email connection. So Kyle definitely understands the power of collaboration and connection. And I know that we've made some great introductions to each other, for each other, and collaborating in a way that, expands each of our circles. And so that's been really powerful. So I appreciate Kyle's understanding of collaboration and the things that he's taught me in storytelling. And so both really powerful and helpful. So Kyle, tell us about your journey and the impact you're making.
Hey, Robert, thank you so much for the great introduction. And it's been a pleasure collaborating with you. And I believe I'm just this close to be sending you some commissions as well for the introductions that you've been making. And thank you again for inviting me here. Yeah, exactly. That's the best part of referral parties, right? So my story, I really resonate a lot with Monica and Kelly, and have my own little thread of this as well. For the last 10 years, I've been working in storytelling, persuasion, wordsmithing, and creating great words that inspire and move people. And through that journey, I also went through my own health crisis, and similarly kind of misled, didn't know who to go see, what to do. I had several friends who were also in their mid-20s, similar to me, just have health problems that drove them to the brink of suicide. They didn't understand what to do or how to deal with these things. And I remember a few years into my career as an entrepreneur, I was helping facilitate a workshop filled with experts. And these experts happened to be health and wellness practitioners. And one of them sat next to me, and we started chatting about chronic autoimmune conditions. And that's what I learned I had. And we quickly made a deal because I described what my life was like. And she's like, oh my God, you need to come work with me. And we were off to the races. She took me through an autoimmune protocol that was different than any of the doctors that I've ever gone to or anybody that I knew that was out there. And it created a whole new lease of life for.
Well, we've got a little freeze on Kyle's side.
You left me on the cliffhanger there.
A whole new lease of life. Where'd it go?
Okay, that was awesome. I'm just going to say.
You got to be careful because Robert likes taking pictures of people when they freeze like that. He did, and he's using it. Yeah. You tell him, Robert. You be honest with people.
Okay, here he comes back. Welcome back, Kyle. We lost you there.
I'll see if I can pick it up. I know.
You want a whole new lease of life. Whole new lease of life.
Yeah. You left us on the end, Kyle.
Well, good. See, so the story's working. That was part of the technique. That's the disappear cliffhanger. Get you more excited. Over the course of understanding my own health, I started to also understand my mental health and how the same techniques that I would use to create powerful words and persuasion and action from the stage or from a sales letter or from a sales call were the same things that I would use to determine the limitations and the boundaries of my own life and my own success and what was possible for me. And I was amazed to see how similar the techniques were. And the more that I started working with people on their stories, especially understanding this, the deeper the work became, the more connecting with people's deep spiritual purpose on this world and why they're here, and allowing them to articulate that did a lot more than just helping people get more clients, which it certainly did. But it created new levels of energy, new levels of focus, new levels of clarity to do the hard things that are required to make change in this world. And working right at the cross section of creating stories that not only motivate our ideal clients to work with us, but inspire and motivate us to be the people that God has intended us to be and that the world needs most right now.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Well, Kyle, I appreciate, just your sharing your story and just being able to impact so many lives. Because I think, you and I did a collaboration where you just interviewed me for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and extracted just a piece of my story. And it helped me a lot, even though we extracted the wrong story at the time. That was my fault, not yours, because I was going the wrong direction. So, but it helped me get the right story, and we've had continuing conversations in regards to story and the power of story. And so I've definitely appreciated that, and which is why I love sending referrals your way, because I know you're going to help people really extract their story and create their stage keynote and all the powerful things that storytelling can do. And so have appreciated just your listening. I guess you're a hyper listener and extracting, knowing which pieces of somebody's story to extract and use against them. No, use for them.
Is for them. Yeah, I find a lot of people, especially as we become deeper experienced, really good experts, we end up tripping ourselves up and getting in our own way with our own knowledge and experience. And it becomes really difficult when you maybe have an ideal client in front of you on a sales call or a presentation, and you have like 10 great things to say, and one of them's 90% good, one of them's 92% good, one of them's 96% good. And a lot of us, when we are confronted with that, we make the choice to say all of the things bad instead of just pick one. And so over the course of 10 years, I've been practicing this listening skill and trying to understand, okay, what's your objective of the story you want to tell, and drawing out these questions and allowing the person that I'm listening to the space to not have to worry about deciding what to cut, what to include, and kind of more like a psychotherapeutic, just letting them relax and just ask questions and draw it out in a more passive way where they can be immersed in emotions and feelings, which I think is one of the biggest things that very smart people are missing. We love to give all the best information, and a lot of times we speak and we go on podcasts in exactly the same way that we teach our clients that have already paid us. But a lot of times it does us more harm than good, even though we're sharing really good information.
Good points. Excellent points. Also, we've got a couple of folks joining us, watching, looks like from LinkedIn, Russ Hedge and Beatrice Bruno. And Beatrice says, hyper listener. I like that.
Yeah.
So, wow. Yeah, there's so many directions we could go on collaboration here from the stories that you've told. And, thinking about it as I listened to you, not only were there collaborations in terms of collaborating with other individuals, but in Monica's case, it was collaboration of things.
Definitely.
And I would venture to say that was probably true for Kelly and for Kyle as well, right? And so, but it just made me think about collaboration differently as I listened to you when you talked about the various elements that you had pulled together to create your program.
Which was so surprising to me. I didn't expect that. I thought I was creating an exercise class, and it turned out to be that and so much more. And that was kind of mind blowing. I didn't expect that. And the results and the power from it have been exponential. And you think, oh, well, we're going to piecemeal all of this out. We're going to outsource everything. But when you really do combine and collaborate all of those things together, the results are that much more powerful. And that's true in business as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
I was just going to coattail off that, Monica, because going off of what Kyle said too, I think that's the importance between hearing and listening too. Because when you're a solo entrepreneur, like I started off as a sole proprietor, when you're staring at your business for so long by yourself, right? One of my favorite African proverbs is, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And I had been staring at my business for so long, which is okay, right? I mean, I'm passionate about it. But when I started to do collaborations, if I would have had someone like Kyle collaborating with me saying, hey, take a step back and here's what I'm seeing. And he's listening to my mission and my purpose, and he's able to collaborate with me and tell, like Robert, to your point, he's like, I was in my wrong story at that time. And Kyle was able to really listen and collaborate with me. By me building these powerful alliances and strategic partnerships and collaborate and let go of some of that illusion of control over my business, Regina, to your point, my business now can run itself.
Awesome.
I have these partnerships with, Eric Yalen that has built my CRM, and he gives me things on this, and then Cease is doing my funnels, and then I can talk with Robert and Noel, and they can give me feedback, and then people are giving me so all of these, it's taken this direction of these collaborations that I'm totally open to it. And then I can because I have these collaborations, I can get quiet with my spirit, to Kyle's point, and just get clear and be quiet enough to hear the downloads I need to hear in order to be that vessel, to not be giving my clients 50 million ideas, but really be listening to what they need to be able to accurately coach. So that's the power of collaboration for me, because to me, the people at the bottom are competing, but the people at the top are collaborating. And so it's just been so powerful to meet all of these people and form these alliances and collaborations.
Yeah. It's an exciting way to go through life, isn't it?
Oh my goodness gracious. I was like, where has it been all my life? You know, I had to do it alone, you know?
It changes everything. It does.
It does.
Game changer.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. Robert?
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously collaboration, shifting from, competition to a collaborative mindset is, for some can be really challenging, right? Because we're taught our whole lives, like limitations and there's only so many dollars available. And this idea that, well, if I take them, then someone else can't have them. Or if he gets them, then he can't have them. And until you can let go of that limitation and really see the value of collaborating, even collaborating with fellow business coaches that are working in the same exact space. There can be thousands of us working in the same space, and there's still plenty of opportunity. There's plenty of businesses in this country. There's plenty of people on this planet. There's truly abundance, and you can't get there. You can't get to that space in your mind, and you can't get to that space in your reality until you let go of that limitation and see the power in collaborating. And I guess the real power in collaborating is, I guess for me, it's making these natural connections that I feel, when Kyle and I have made referrals back and forth, it's just, most of them have been based on, I mean, yes, I know what Kyle does. I know who his ideal client is. There's a natural, oh, he needs to meet this person. Oh, he needs to meet that person. Oh, this person's working on their keynote. He needs to, I need to make that introduction. And so there's an intuition to it when you have an openness. And I think being open to trusting that, right? And so that's listening to yourself, really. It's being able to listen to yourself and taking action on it, right? Like, oh, I hear I should make that connection, and then making sure you make a note, or you just stop and do it, right? Make that connection right away so that it doesn't get lost. And I think that's been, and I guess that's, Regina, you and I had a training call together, and in the training call, you made the decision, hey, I want to do this collaboration with Robert. And so you were open to, that possibility and what that could lead to. And then the invitations I sent out, the majority of the people accepted, because they're like, oh, we'll collaborate. Yeah, let's do it. Let's jump on and have that conversation. And so there is this place where you trust the intuition. And I think when your business is elevated and you're elevated, it's a lot easier to trust what the voice in your head versus the voice in your head early on that's just so scared and so of all the limitations and driving the conversation based on fear rather than based on confidence.
When you're focused on collaboration, it changes everything in the way that you see people and what you see in them. You see possibilities in every connection that you make, and everyone that comes across your path. It's like, oh wow, how can we do this together? How can we do that? And it ceases to be competitive. That there are ways, even if you're a coach, as I'm a coach, and we're serving the same type of clients, there's still opportunities for us to do things together, collaboratively as opposed to competitively. I see Kelly and Monica both nodding.
Yes, Monica, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that I love that. And even the other thing that was interesting to me recently is, after going to the Achieve conference that we were at, being able to chat with people who did not serve anyone that I would serve, completely different audiences, but yet being able to collaborate. And one interesting collaboration that I was not expecting was to be able to trade services. And that was such an awesome thing. I was able to work with someone who does email campaigns, and she had fibromyalgia and some other issues, and she really needed some physical support and some help and some spiritual support. And so we were able to do a big trade. And now we are both really going to reap the benefits from that, as well as be able to refer and get into each other's audiences and have that level of collaboration. I mean, what's not to love? That's
all right, Monica.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna blow your mind right now.
Bring it.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I think I know where you're going.
Regina is her sister.
No way. What? Okay, you are blowing my mind right now.
If you're talking about Barbara Sayers.
I am.
Yes, that's my sister. She's my big sis.
Way. I can't believe that. And you're just down the road from me anyway. That's wild. Okay. So collaboration here, sister. Here we go.
Her company name is Sister to Sister because she started out working with her sister, Regina.
Yeah. So I helped her launch that business.
Connection made.
There's a divine appointment if I ever saw one.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Oh, Regina, hugs to you, my friend. That's amazing. Love it. Love it. Well, I love your sister. She's a sweetheart.
She is, indeed.
And a great
She's
collaboration
awesome.
Right here.
Yeah.
Robert, that's amazing. Oh.
I owe a lot to her.
She's awesome. Love it. Kelly, didn't mean to jump in there. Go, girl. All you.
I'm gonna need icy hot for my neck after this because the whole I'm just like yes,
bobblehead.
But I was just gonna say, it's just with everything that everyone's saying. Isn't this what we're talking about though? Is that when you're in alignment with your purpose to be a servant leader, which is what I'm hearing that we all are.
Yes.
That's what we're doing is serving. So when you're serving, that is what collaboration really is. We're like, how can I serve you, Regina?
Exactly.
How can I serve you, Monica? Robert, how can I serve you? Kyle, how can I serve you? And when Kyle is talking about it, like when he's really serving his people, he's not making it about him and his knowledge and the 8 things he can teach someone. He's about how can I serve his client? He's making his client's why his why. And he's really listening into that. And to me, that's what collaboration is. If I'm coming from that place of abundance, like Robert's talking about, it goes back to what Kyle's saying. It's a lifelong process for us as entrepreneurs to do the work on ourselves to make sure that we're in a position to be a vessel to serve. And if we're doing that, then we get wiser and we come from a place. None of my work is copyrighted. And the reason none of my work is copyrighted is because I'm not coming from a place of lack. I'm not like, I need to hold my stuff. I'm like, take my stuff. If it's going to help somebody or it's going to help you in your business or Robert in yours or Regina in yours or Kyle, if you could use it, please take it to serve somebody, right? Because I've done enough work on myself and I have enough confidence in myself to be like, if I can collaborate with you and you can use it, and on my accelerators and masterminds, I'm collaborating with people to be like, if this person can add to my accelerator to help somebody in addiction, or that I want them on my, if they can add more value, they're not incompetent. Please come and join my accelerator and serve with me. So I think that comes from gaining that confidence and coming from that place of abundance and all those selves, valuing your self-worth, self-love, self-care, all of those things, because I would gladly have any of you collaborate with me to add value and to serve.
Awesome.
And what I noticed is all the people that do that have been through an experience in their life.
Yep.
And have chosen to turn it into something of healing, have taken their dark and turned it into serving in the light. Okay, I'm out.
Yep.
Thank you, Kelly and Monica. Kyle, I noticed you were also nodding, so I'd love to hear your input on that, but I would also love to hear how you started this referral party. That is such a great collaboration idea.
Thank you so much. I can't take credit for this. A man much smarter than me named Mike Koenigs recently released a book about referral parties, so you can check out that book. But the process is really, really simple, but very, very powerful. One of the biggest problems with referrals is that most people get the idea, idea floats into your head. Oh, I should introduce this person, and then I'll do it later, and then we forget, and nothing ever happens. And for a long time, the only cure for that was to attend live events and be in people's faces so much that it like solidified, and the referral actually maybe like 20% of them came through in the best case. And so one of the greatest solutions to all of these problems, to the problem of the referrals don't come by that quickly. Secondly, spend a lot of money going to live events, and I highly recommend it. Go spend your money, go to live events. But this is almost as good, if not better, way to really leverage the connections that I motivate me to go to live events. So I have a simple document that I use that just has my offer, whoever I'm collaborating with. They get to write out who their ideal client is and what offer they have. And we try to get at least 5 people each that we would know would be a good fit for what this person's looking for. And so I spend time before these calls, and I expect the person I'm partnering with to do that too. And there's a slight upgraded level of commitment when we know we both have to show up with quality referrals.
That's smart.
And so, once they're all lined up, then we're on a Zoom call together. I like sending voice notes. And I'll say, hey, Robert, I'm really excited to introduce you to Monica. She has this amazing program. Here's how I think you two could collaborate. Give him a little bit of information and context, and then send it off. And then in the best way, like once I send off a message, right away, the partner will receive it and respond and drop their calendar link. So by it, usually, I set aside an hour to do this, but in 40 minutes, usually we're both very satisfied with the amount of referrals we've sent back and forth, and it would be too much work to keep going. And so, huge connections. I do 1 or 2 referral parties a week, and it's been the best business tool that I've learned about in the last decade.
That is awesome.
Brilliant. That's
That
brilliant.
is brilliant.
Yes.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Love it.
Amazing.
I think that this group, we could spend quite a bit of time together. I have a feeling there's a ton of things that you could bring to the table here. Robert, before we've got about 10 more minutes before we get into our wrap-up round. So any particular aspect of collaboration that you'd like us to visit about at this moment?
Well, I mean, obviously everybody shared their story, right? What's led them to the impact they're making, the business that they're trying to develop and grow. The piece that they haven't shared is who they primarily serve, and who they're trying to impact, and maybe even a little bit of their why in that impact, right? So Kelly, to it, I mean, obviously you mentioned addiction, and everybody has addictions, but everybody can't be your ideal client. So let's talk about who it is that you want to serve, and help us identify who those people are in our world.
Yeah. I want to help, entrepreneurs that feel like they have to do it all, right? And are suffering from either burnout or feeling stuck in any kind of addictive behavior, or that are keeping them from fulfilling their passion. And my why is because I want to take them through it in a shorter amount of time with less pain, because I don't want anybody to ever feel like they have to do it alone, like I did.
Nice. Thank you. Monica, tell us who are you serving, and let's lean into how we can think about those people in our world.
So I think the people that I serve the best are the ones who are suffering from chronic pain, especially that's unexplained. We work with fascia, and fascia is responsible for much of the chronic pain that we feel, that especially that the medical community is not able to find. It doesn't show up on tests. And so it's something that is very effective in helping people deal with that. I think we also are very effective at helping people with chronic anxiety, especially right now with all of the things that are happening in our world. And recently with the pandemic and the resurgence of that, the limbic system gets chronically activated and turned on. And so we help people with that. That's one of the hallmarks of our program, is to bring that sense of peace and calming that overactive limbic system. So people with chronic pain, chronic anxiety, anyone who's looking to build strength, build endurance, freedom, renewal, peace, those are the things that we really address. So people, I think along those lines would be our ideal client. And I think also historically it's been women, but I will tell you, I know a lot of men who have chronic pain, who have chronic anxiety, who would be very well served with what we do. So, and what was the other part of the question? I know there's another part I'm missing.
Just the why those people are.
Oh, why? So, I've spent a lot of time crafting my why. Why do I do what I do? And really it comes down to, I want to serve the Lord. And I want to be fit to serve him spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And so I know that requires everything that I'm doing at the Still Workout to be able to do that. And I want everyone to have that level of physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional health. So
Nice.
Love it.
Very
nice. Yes.
Kyle, buddy.
All right. I'll start with my why, and then we'll go to the who. I believe that right now, the world is facing some of the biggest challenges that it has ever faced. And I believe that we easily have all of the talent that we need to solve all of these problems that we've been having. And I believe the problems is there's Einsteins, there's Malalas, there's great people out there who haven't tapped into their genius and their brilliance. And they need to hear a message or hear an expert or hear a leader to really help them tap into that. But yeah, it's all here. It's all ready. We have everything we need to solve these problems if we can get people really tuning into their purpose and their why and expressing that. And so the people that I work with are experts in health and wellness, in marketing, in leadership, and in psychedelics. They are too smart for their own good and end up usually undercutting themselves when they present. They're great speakers. They get invited to speak, and they get applause when they speak, but they don't get conversions or results, at least at the level that they really want, which could justify them speaking a lot. So what ends up happening is, since they're not getting the results that they want speaking, it usually cuts into their creative time, and they need to spend more time putting out fires in their business because the talks aren't paying off as well. I'm staring at a blank screen. I don't know what to do. And Sharon has already sent me 10 emails of things that I need to work on, which causes this drought over time of drying out your creativity and lowering your effectiveness, which leaves us at sort of a glass ceiling. Our teams start to be less effective, and we can't really get past it. And a lot of us fall back on our grind harder, work harder kind of classic techniques. And so with these people, I help them both reclaim their creative time and leave no doubt that this is the most valuable time that they can be spending in their business, and quickly, rapidly develop stories that are going to get them results in the short term. And through the process of continuously developing these stories, not only helping them write a perfect script, but understand storytelling with the same level of mastery that a martial artist knows how to block a punch or kick in a certain thing. We want this to be natural and authentic, and like not taking a lot of processing power and thinking. And so that's who I work with, and I'm proud to announce a lot of the people that I work with make back everything they invest in me the first time they speak.
Black belt storytellers. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Regina,
Robert.
we need a little bit about you because we're still sharing this on our networks. And so,
Okay. So I am passionate about seeing entrepreneurs be successful and create those legacies for their families. We know that something like 95% of businesses that contact a broker about selling their business have nothing to sell. They can't do a thing for them. They turn away 95% of the incoming calls. That's just horrific, right? We as entrepreneurs, we pour our heart and soul into building this business that we think is going to be this wonderful thing for us and our family and for our communities around us. And then to, after all of that, to be told, well, you didn't build it the way it needed to be built. It's not as profitable as it should be, and it depends on you to keep going. And so therefore you have nothing to sell. Nobody wants to buy you, and they don't want to buy something that's not profitable. Right? So I'm on a mission to change that. The other half of my passion, though, the spark that started all of this, is that I'm also passionate about marriages and families. If you see over my shoulder there's a book called Bulletproof Your Marriage, which was my first book. It was an international bestseller. And it's all about how we don't wind up in the empty nest syndrome where we get a divorce, right? So many marriages, by the time they hit the empty nest syndrome, the marriage is over. And they can't wait for the kids to go on so that they can go on their separate ways. And this book is really about how from the courtship all the way through that you're nurturing that relationship and that marriage so that it is a long-lasting marriage. Now, what does that create? That creates a generational positive impact, right? What we grow up in impacts us and how we go about our lives after we leave home. And so if you've grown up in a good home where there was good communication and love and it was a solid family, then you know how to create that in your family. And if you haven't, then you're at a loss as to how to do that.
Yeah.
So I originally started off wanting to coach couples. And actually, my husband and I built a course based on, or a retreat based on the book, and did a couple of beta sessions. And it was fabulous. I'm like, okay, we're moving forward. We're doing this. Crickets. I couldn't get anybody to come, especially the men, I think. And so I said, okay, let's do something different here. Let's go in a different door. Many businesses, many entrepreneurs have struggling marriages because of the stress that's created in the business, right? And we bring that home and it impacts our families. So my motto is save a business, save a marriage.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I specialize in profit acceleration, as you might guess from the Profit Doctor, and transforming businesses so that they stand out in their saturated markets. We're all in saturated markets, right? So that they stand out and attract that consistent flow of clients and build that business that thrives without them, and that they can ultimately sell or hire someone else to run so that they could leave that positive financial legacy as well as the positive emotional legacy for their family.
Love it.
Did that get it, Robert?
Absolutely.
Mic drop.
Yep, that was awesome.
Awesome. Fantastic. Okay, well, we have reached that point where we're going to do our wrap-up round, and I'd just love to hear your final comments about collaboration, and then also share your contact information. And Robert, would you lead the round, please, and make sure we hear from everybody?
Absolutely. So I guess we'll start in a different order. Although we have so many, I was trying to figure out a better. Kyle, we're going to start with you, buddy, because these women have been overwhelming you and I, and we need to take a little power back. So.
Oh no! Help me.
So obviously, referrals are the heart of business, and your referral party is one great tool. What's a good referral for you, Kyle?
A good referral for me is an expert with a high ticket product who wants to speak more, be it on podcasts, online, or on stages, to get their message out there.
Perfect. And then how do people find you, Kyle?
You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Kyle Gray. You can search either Kyle Gray Storytelling or Utah to find me. There's quite a few Kyle Grays out there. And you can also find me on Instagram at Hey Kyle Gray, or you can go to my website at thestoryengine.co. There I have a podcast I've been running for over 4 years, 3 best-selling books, and all kinds of blog content and infographics on storytelling.
Awesome.
And I think the story engine is it the story engine or story blueprint? That's your book.
The Story Engine is also the name of my most successful book.
Yeah. It's up on my table. I should have brought it down.
Oh, no worries.
Monica,
Yes.
what's an ideal referral for you?
So I would say occupational therapists and chiropractors, as they tend to look at what I do and see it as the perfect continuing practice for their clients. As they leave them, they need to come to me. So that would be probably the best referral for me. And you can find The Still Workout on Facebook and Instagram at The Still Workout, where you will find very funny content, because my belly laughing homework that I give every single day, I have to give people a way to actually do that. So it's very funny. I put funny things up there a lot. So the Facebook and Instagram at The Still Workout. You can also find our website, thestillworkout.com, and everything is on there.
Beautiful. Miss Kelly.
I'm writing down everybody's stuff so I can collaborate.
Awesome.
Yes.
So I want to, when we speak about addiction, people always, assume that addiction has to do with drugs and alcohol. And I want to be really clear that you can go down that path, or you can go down so many other paths with addiction. So my referrals have to do with any mental health care professional, any entrepreneur, anybody that I want people that aren't just interested, but committed to reclaiming their power over addictive behaviors or destructive patterns, and want to reclaim their inner freedom. So not looking for external validations or external sources to ease their burnout or ease, whatever, but want to go within and get really intimate with themselves to find that and be successful in whatever their endeavor is. That would be my ideal client. And so you can find me at my website, www.kellybazzani.com. I am on Instagram at Kelly Bazzani. I am on Facebook at Kelly Bazzani. And I am launching my free 90-minute accelerators that are packed with value right now. My next one is September 14th. If you know of anybody that would benefit from that coaching, and that is at maximumresilience.com/breakfree. So
Nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
So my ideal client's a business owner who wants to extract more profit from their business. They feel like they need more money to feed their family, but they're struggling, feeling like they have to work harder to get more. And so primarily business owners that have probably 2 or more employees, 3 or more employees, be generating enough revenue for us to be able to really get some momentum for them and find ultimately more revenue, but the real flavor is finding more profit, because profit's what feeds your family. So those
Amen.
are my ideal client. You can find me at bizlife.coach. That's bizlife.coach is my website. You can download my free book there that gives you 12 areas where you can tap into profit on your own. And hopefully that leads you to wanting to have a conversation and help you really make a plan, right? We create a roadmap that leads towards revenue and profit. And really it's just a pathway to doing the things that business owners have either unaware of, forgotten, or didn't know in the first place that can really help them, rather than thinking, I just got to buckle down. I got to work more hours. I got to do more work. And do more work just leads to burnout and stress and anxiety, and doesn't give them the results that they really need. And so we want to help them actually see some different areas that are really going to generate the fuel that's going to feed their family and examine their business from some different perspectives.
Amen.
Amen is right. Amen.
Yeah.
This has been delightful. I have so enjoyed getting to meet each of you. Thank you so much for taking part in this today, for sharing your knowledge and your wisdom with our audiences. And folks, we hope you'll come back and see us again next time on Collaboration Conversations and learn more about how you can collaborate in life and business to improve not only your own situation, but also to make that ripple effect in the world. So I love, speaking for myself, I love being part of the ripple effect. When I can help someone else and they can go out and change the world, that is a beautiful day. So thank you all again, and we'll see you next time on Collaboration Conversations. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.